Hey, what's up everybody? Music Man Spence here again, coming at you with another video. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, give all your personal information, bank account info, social security number. I'm just kidding, but seriously though, the whole liking, sharing, commenting, all that, it helps grow the channel and grow content and whatnot. So yes, by all means, do help me out there. I'm going to go through another one of my mixes here that I did for my Christmas rock opera album. And this one I wanted to go through because I had a friend who was actually asking me about my violin sounds that I have here for this song, O Come Emmanuel, because I don't have any real violins on this. It's all plugins and, synth violins. And most libraries that you get, like, say, like an orchestra library, like the one I have, the Spitfire BBC Orchestra, it has a lot of good string sounds in it. The cellos and the double basses sound great, but when you're getting the higher notes, like violins, it's good for long chords and pads. But if you want some lead stuff, you're going to need something a little more advanced, and that's what I got here from Contact Stradivari Violin. It sounds really realistic, and so I'm going to just, here, let me arm the track real quick. Just, you got the mod wheel to mess with that and whatnot. I wonder if I can, anyways, I'm not going to mess too much with the settings here because I don't want to throw off my track and then have to reload it, but so you can mess around with a mod wheel for vibrato and dynamics, but what I like about this is if you just slam the vibrato intensity all the way up, it sounds really, realistic and expressive even just on that setting. You will notice here, though, in the automation, I do mess with the vibrato style. I change that up quite a bit. But yeah, the more vibrato on your strings, the more real it's going to sound. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. The first sound that comes in is actually this synth pad, which is from Arturia. And this is the Prophet VS. It's a simulation of the Prophet synthesizer. So it's going to sound like this. Artistic Facts is that setting there. And there's the violin. And then there's a swelling effect here that I got from Lors, which is also from Contact. This is just some extra string noise. It's a viola and cello string with a little bit of trumpet. That sound there. It comes in again also, so you can hear it in real time. So if I solo that, kinds of cool little things you can put in there. Oh. Then I got some double bass. I had some strings there from BBC Orchestra. There was the violas. These bass notes coming in here. Also BBC Spitfire. Cellos, BBC Orchestra, Spitfire. And this little synth pad here, that's also Arturia, a little Stranger Things sounding. That guy right there. Also Prophet VS, just a different setting there. I really like to mix techno electronica with orchestral. And then for our percussion here, using Nexus ReFX, the Hollywood 2 drums library, pick toms. A lot of the same settings I used in Carol of the Bells. And same thing, tubular bells from Nexus. Right before I get into this next part here, I do want to show you. I did this in my last video as well too, but I do like using Resamplo-matic for just throwing in random drum or percussion hits. And so what I got here going is I've got this dubstep kick sound, and then I'm layering that with the Jurner Din low end boom. And that's the cool thing with Resample-O-Matic. It's just a sampler built into Reaper that you can throw in whatever audio files you want, and you can, add plugins, mess with them, the pitch and the dynamics of that. And so I got that going throughout my track here. And then drums come in. So for my drums here, I got, that's my drums bus. Let's go to our sounds. Good old Get Drums, or Get Good Drums from, it's Get Good Drums Invasion Kit. These guys sound great. Great for heavy metal, hard rock. And then for bass, using the good old, it's an Ampeg SVT3 Pro plugin there. And then for the fuzz, I got this Black Distortion 2 from Brainworks. Actually, both of these are from Brainworks. So if you want good bass sounds. And then for guitars, of course, I'm using my secret weapon here is Soldano from Neural DSP. Great for heavy distortion, heavy metal stuff. Not very good for clean, but great for this sort of thing, whether you're doing leads or rhythm. Yeah. And then I got a couple of different reverbs and delays that I've got different instruments running to. My go-to is usually Pro R from FabFilter. It's very versatile, lots of cool dynamics. You can make the room really big. You can make the stereo width really wide. All kinds of really good settings. And then I've got my delay here that I'm using, just Sandman Pro from Unfiltered Audio, good old stereo delay setting. Actually, I'm running for these guys just guitars to that, so... all kinds of good stuff. I'm going to go over the reference in a minute here. So I've got, and before I go over the stuff at the bottom, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. I've got this on my orchestral drums bus, but a better example is here on my drums bus. I've got a couple of things that I like to do. One is some multiband compression, helps bring up the low end from kick drum. I got, some overall compression from Pro C FabFilter. And then I've got a master limiter where I've brought the threshold down to help bring the track up. So I'm going to solo the drums without these. This guy right here, Pro Q, I just use this kind of as an RTA analyzer for this. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to go ahead and play this without these plugins on so you can hear it just raw. Doesn't sound bad, but then you start adding the multiband compression, add the overall compression, and then the limiter. Now you got a nice, full, thick, beefy sound here. And as I mentioned before, I have an instrumental bus here that I send all my instruments minus the drums to this. Well, so that's... got some FabFilter there, some master or multiband compression, also master limiter, and then I do the same here for my submix. That I send the drums to that as well too. And then one thing I want to mention here that I didn't go over in my last video is when you're doing a mix here, you always want to have a reference track that you want to try to match it to. And so I'm using Absolute Zero from Stone Sour, at least for this rock and roll part here. Here, I'll go to the instrumental part. So my goal was to try and match that as best as I could. Now if I go here to my mix window and I go to my master bus, and then I click here, I've got my RTA analyzer on here as well with no settings, or it's the Pro Q just as RTA analyzer. So if I hit play, I can see my levels here. And if I go back and so I can monitor my low end and my high end and see how close I get it to the mix that I want to match it to. So that's a really good technique there of having a reference track and going back and forth, soloing it, and then listening to your mix and comparing it on the RTA. But of course you want to use your ears more importantly, but that's just a nice way to, oh, hey, something doesn't sound right. You can look at the RTA and say, oh, I got too much low end, or I don't have enough of mid-range and whatnot. So just different methods of mixing, and yeah, there it is. I'll see you in the next one.